And now we have a Bissell versus Bissell sand test. More specifically, a Helix versus Turbo sand test. So we're going to do the 2-cycle test. And yes, before 5 more people tell me that this hood has been replaced, these machines were both curb fines. So I got them in whatever shape they were actually in at the curb. So let's find out what the initial bin weights are, and then we'll go ahead and start our 2-cycle sand test. Five grams, 5 grams. And the empty bin weight for the Helix shall be 'Let me see if you can see that. Oh, just barely. So I'm going to say 254.2, is that a 9? 254.29. All right, 254.29. Let's see what we have for the turbo. Turbo is a little bit heavier, and we are 291.45. So, a couple of notes to people who are attempting to do this kind of sand test. It would be better if you used less sand than more sand, because let's face it, do people really have 50 or 100 grams of sand in this small of an area of the carpet? So I'm using 5 grams, and that usually is going to give you probably a pretty realistic pickup result when you are in a realistic environment. The other thing is when you put the sand in the carpet, make sure it actually goes into the carpet. So when you see it proud of the carpet, like say this is red sand in a light tan carpet, I shouldn't really see any red sand. So if you're using green sand or yellow sand or something like that, your dirt, if you're going to be doing a true deep clean test, needs to go all the way into the pile. So you're testing the vacuum's ability to get it up from the pile. Just kind of my little suggestions and pet peeves. Oh yeah, and the last one is when you put the sand in the carpet, make sure that the vacuum goes over the entire amount of sand. Don't miss any sand, because you'll get a really weird result. So what you got to do is spread the sand out as evenly as possible over an area no wider than the brush roll, if you really care about accuracy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but see the sand? Okay, so it's no wider than the brush roll, and without a whole lot of messing with it, it's pretty much gone. I don't have to go to any extremes. I don't have to take a rake or something like that, but there you go. You pretty much really don't see it. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little pile of sand for this guy here. It's a little wider brush roll. I appreciate other people trying to do these tests. It's great to be able to see that, but I would really prefer to try to be as accurate as possible, that, you know, higher standards would be adhered to. So see how easy 5 grams goes in? See that right there? No big deal. And then it's not any wider than the nozzle. And it's not a huge amount of sand that literally you can easily see on top of the carpet. All right, here we go. Both are set on medium. Okay, here's the Helix. I'll bring them together. Take this off and take this off. Wow. Separate that. All right. All right, tell you what, let's do the Helix first. This is going to be a raw pickup because there's always extraneous material in there. So if we need to separate some stuff out, we will. All right, so a raw bin pickup. And we're looking at 255.03. Yeah, I'll take that. 255.03. And if I subtract the initial 254.29, we have 0.74 out of 5 grams. So I can divide that by 5. So we get about 15%. Yeah, let me move that. Yeah, that's not exactly real great. But remember, this is indeed just a 2-cycle test. So I've hit the same spot of the carpet just 4 times. So about 15%. And I might want to actually extract that a little bit. There's some debris in there. It's not going to add up to a whole lot, but there is some in there. So that is a little bit of a dirty pickup. It's not terrible, but there's a little extraneous stuff in there raising that number a little bit. All right, let's see what we have for the turbo. Did it do any better? It certainly seemed to bring sand up more than the Helix. At least in the video it did. Okay, we started out with, yeah, I think this is going to do a little bit better. So we started out with 291.45, and we're now at 292.65. Subtract the difference. And we have a raw pickup uncleaned of 1.2 out of 5. And that's 24%. So yes, that is noticeably more. So I moved the decimal point. We're at 24%. So a nice improvement with the turbo. The turbo is actually picking up a bit better because the brush roll has more agitation to it. The bristles on here are stiffer, and we noticed that with the whole house cleaning pickup. And you can plainly see, let me move this out of the way here. You can plainly see this was trying to pick up more sand. There's more that has risen to the surface. And this one right here kind of gave up a little bit more, but the bristles on this Helix brush roll are a little bit softer. So stiffer bristles, same airflow and suction, picks up more sand than softer bristles, same airflow and suction. Let me see if I can manage to separate some of the dirt from this sandy pickup. All right, I'll say 0.44. 0.44 divided by 5, and then multiply times 100. So we are at 8.8%. So this doesn't really pick up sand very, very quickly at all. We are at 1.1 divided by 1.11 divided by 5. It's about 22.2%. That's a lot more sand pickup. So to wrap this test up, simply because the turbo has a more aggressive brush roll, it ends up picking up, well, near about twice as much as what the Helix does. And again, not because of better airflow or suction, just simply because of the brush roll. And that's just the way that I found these machines at the curb. So for this shootout, the older turbo for sand is the winner. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.